Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Aday, and you can see that I'm coming to you from my kitchen, and I have my youngest son, Eli, who's in 3rd grade in Mrs. Hanson's class at our school, here to help me. And every week I'm going to have a new video for you on how to build an instrument with things at your house. So today we're going to start with this instrument right here, and I am calling it a marshmallow drum. We'll get to that in just a second, but I wanted to sing a little song that I thought you could sing along with me, and hopefully it will remind you of our classroom time. Oh, here we are together, together, together. Oh, here we are together, a family of friends. There's Eli and Mrs. Aday and all of you at home today. Oh, here we are together, a family of friends. Maybe you can sing that song with your family today. All right, so let's get started with our marshmallow drum. I'm going to show you how it works right now, but later on, my oldest son is going to play it for you because he really plays the drums well. So you can see the marshmallows are on the ends of the mallets, and I can play my drum like this. So we'll get to that in just a second, but first we've got to start with our drum. I am going to send home a list that has all of the things that you'll need so you can help your moms or dads or whoever else is special at your house gather those things together, get them all in one spot, and then you should be able to work along with Eli and I. We're going to make 2 drums right now. So here is, I'll just put this one to the side. Here's what Eli's going to use. Now I'm guessing that a lot of you have an empty container right now since I know we've been using a lot of wipes in our houses lately. I put a can of just some tomatoes actually in the bottom of this because I want to make sure that if you use one of these for the base part of your drum that it's not going to fall over. So that's what Eli is going to use for his. I'm going to use this bucket. Either one of those things would work. This drum that I made for you earlier was actually like a cardboard container that had some popcorn in it. So just look for something around your house that has a round top to it. You don't want it to be too big because then it will be hard to make the head of the drum. So the first thing we need to do is make the head of the drum. I am going to use this stuff that I found at my house, which is like kind of like a fake leather kind of stuff. I just found it in my craft cupboard and kind of played around with it and saw that it would work really well. Lots of you probably don't have this, but you might have something else. You just need to think and talk with your families. It has to be something that can't break really easy, but also that has a little bit of what we would call give to it. It shouldn't be paper because paper will break apart. So another option that you could use is just a plastic bag. So I'm going to have Eli use the plastic bag. Because it will fit easily over the top of his drum, and you'll see that it will work just as well. So we'll start with Eli's, and the next thing that you're going to need is some big tape. So this is packing tape. We always have a lot of this at my house. I think probably lots of you have stuff like this too. It's kind of noisy when you pull it apart, sort of fun. So you take the plastic bag, if you're going to use a plastic bag, and just stretch it over the top of your drum, and then pull out some tape and tape it on there, like this. And for this part, get your thumb out of there, Eli. For this part, it doesn't have to be really neat and tidy. We're going to cover it over with paper anyway. So if it isn't really tidy, that's okay. We'll fix that part later. Now, look at that. We did that in one shot. All right.
I think it should be tighter.
I think it should be a little bit tighter.
Okay.
So to make it tighter, we're going to have to pull it down to make it tighter because we can't really do it from here. So if you're finding that the head, this is the head of the drum, is a little bit loose, then just tape it down on the bottom.
Very top.
So we're going to pull it from the bottom, Eli. Okay.
Put it at the very top.
We're going to pull it from the bottom, Eli. Because otherwise, if we just put it at the top, it has nowhere to go. And we'll do a little bit more down here and pulling down from the bottom. Stick that part on there. There, see it's getting tighter. Even though we were pulling from the bottom, you might feel the same way as Eli did, thinking that you should tape more on the top, but really you want to pull it down at the bottom and tape more from the bottom. That makes sense to you, Eli?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it got tighter, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to get it to the point where you can pat it with your hand and it doesn't kind of wrinkle. Now remember that what we're using here is plastic, so it's not super duper strong. So you wouldn't want to, just like our drums at school, you wouldn't want to take something sharp like a pen or a pencil and smack through it. You want to be careful with it. Okay, now for mine, because I have something different, instead of doing that, I am just going to take my piece of material, and maybe you have something, maybe you have some fabric even, that would work, because this is a kind of fabric. Or maybe you have an old t-shirt, or maybe you've got a big piece of plastic at your house that is from something. I don't know. Look around. It's a fun time to look and see what things we have at our house that we can turn into something else, since we're spending lots of time at home. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a piece of this. Now if I want to get fancy, I could make it round and cut it like this. I could turn whatever I'm using for the body of my drum upside down, put it on my piece of fabric or plastic or whatever I'm using, and draw a circle that's a little bit bigger than the body of my drum. And your circle doesn't have to be perfect. So here's my circle. You can see it's not quite perfect, but you get the idea. And it's for sure bigger than my drum. And then I can start cutting it out. And another thing, even when you're cutting it, it doesn't have to be perfect. I sure miss seeing all of you in my classroom this week, but I hope you're having fun at home doing some things that you don't always get the chance to do when you're busy at school every single day. Hopefully soon we'll all be back together again. All right, so this part, let's not forget that we put that in the trash. Okay, so you can see that this part is bigger. So I'm going to just go ahead. Oh, actually, I think I'm going to take this little handle off of this bucket. It'll be easier to tape. Are you ready to help me again, Eli?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because this bucket is kind of wider, it won't fall over. The reason I put something heavy, and it doesn't have to be a can of vegetables. It could be a rock or something like that. I put that in because this one is taller and skinnier, but this one is wider and shorter, so when I play this drum, it won't fall over. So Eli, how about you hold that on there, and then we're gonna do the same thing that we did before, but this one's a little trickier. I'm gonna have to use more small pieces of tape. We have to make sure that we stay covering up the top of the drum.
I cannot do this.
I bet you can.
Hard.
How about I give you the tape this time? Now that I've got a couple pieces on, maybe mom and dad need to help you put a couple pieces on, and then you could put it on. So I'll give Eli the tape this time. Or maybe you have a big brother or sister that could help you. Just pull it tight. As tight as you can. It'll make the drum sound better the tighter that it is. I like to have a lot of this tape at my house because that way we can do stuff like this. And if you mess up, it's no big deal. Just a little bit of tape. That looks pretty good, Eli. Here you go. Okay, now another thing that you're gonna need is some paper. It could be plain paper or colored paper or even patterned paper. And what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna cover up the body of our drum and make it look kind of pretty or colorful. This one, we're gonna leave just the way that it is because you can see that it is a snowman bucket. So I think it'll be fun. We'll just call this our snowman drum and we'll leave it just the way that it is. But if you've got something like this that you feel like, oh, I think I'd like for it to look a little different, then you might want to think about putting something over top of it. So we'll work just on Eli's drum for this. And after you get all of your tape on, it's okay if it takes you a little while. Maybe ask your mom or dad or whoever else is special at home if they can help you. Just tighten it up. That feel pretty good, Eli?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. So this one we are just going to set to the side for a second. Okay. Now, Eli, what color do you want to use? Would you like to use some of the blue paper, the green? This paper is just about the right size. So all we're gonna do, and Eli, you can do this part. Yeah, we're just going to, here's your scissors. Oh, where'd they go?
Small ones?
Yeah. Well, I guess you'll have to use these ones.
I can use them.
That's fine. So just cut about this much off of your piece of paper. Maybe a little bit more, Eli. And I'll get another one ready for him. Actually see the paper over here, or the other scissors over here. So I'll just cut, we'll need 2 pieces of paper for one of these wipes containers. Okay, so all Eli is gonna do now is take the Scotch tape and he's gonna tape one side and then the other. So tape one side on.
Scotch?
Yep, that's called Scotch tape.
Oh.
This one, the big thick tape, is packing tape. This is Scotch tape. Go ahead, Eli.
Well, I called it, the only reason I called it Scotch was because that stuff Scotch was because it says Scotch on it.
Oh yeah, it does say Scotch, but it's actually called packing tape. Scotch is the brand.
I messed it up.
It's okay.
Put it up here.
All right, now you only need to tape it in about 3 spots. Here, and in the middle, and then you do the bottom one, Eli. There you go. Now, if you have a container that you could paint, that's something else that you could do. I didn't do that for this one because I didn't have containers that I really wanted to paint. I wanted to use the paper. There you go. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to look a certain way. All right, so now we're just gonna wrap that piece of paper all the way around, and then you can tape it on this side, Eli. This is good for your hands too, to work together, one hand holding and the other hand taping. There you go. And I want to say thank you to my daughter, Addie, because she's holding the camera right now. Thank you, Addie. Okay. Yep, just like that. Okay, now we're gonna take one more piece of paper to cover up because we've got part of it. Oh, Eli likes it just right. There you go. That's okay, we're gonna cover that part up, Eli. This part is showing. So since we don't want that part showing, now we're gonna take that other piece of paper that we cut a little bit off of and just tape it around so the whole thing is covered. And really, it's okay if it's a little bit lumpy. That doesn't really matter. That's not, the most important part of the drum is this part right here, which is the head. Oh, we gotta make sure it's straight. There we go. I think it's easiest to tape it on one end and then on the other. And then you can add some extra tape to it. Tape it on one end of the paper and then the other end of the paper. And then you can add some more tape, like that. Okay, now, the next step. Can we use this piece of paper, Eli, for the decoration?
Sure.
Okay, so the next step is take another piece of colored paper or white paper that you've colored and cut it in half hot dog. Remember we've talked about that before? If I fold a piece of paper like this, that's hamburger. If I fold a piece of paper like this, that's hot dog. So here is me cutting it hot dog. They don't have to be perfectly even. And this is the fun part. You're gonna take each one of these pieces of paper and cut little tiny quick snips in it, like this, on one side. Don't cut all the way through, just as much as your scissors will do. Here, Eli, why don't you do this one with these scissors, and I'll take back these scissors. And we're gonna cut all the way along one side. This is gonna make what we call a fringe. And the fringe will be like that. And then once I've done this side, see all those little bits? I'm gonna flip it to the other side and I'm gonna do the same thing. The part in the middle, just one open and close of the scissors. The part in the middle, though, we're gonna leave because we don't want that part cut so it stays together. I'll show you. It's gonna look kind of like a feather almost. See, when it's all done, it'll look kind of like a feather. Does that look neat? Now this part, we're just gonna use one, well, you don't have to go quickly. You know, that looks great, Eli. We're gonna take one piece of tape on this end and stick it right onto the end of the feather, and then another piece of tape, and if you have more time, you could use glue. Put it on the other end of the feather, like that. Then I'm gonna stretch the feather around the top of the drum, and that's gonna give it a little bit of decoration. Now again, we have that problem that not all of it is filled up all the way or covered up all the way. So that's where Eli's will come in. Oh, that looks great, Eli. Okay, so Eli, you're gonna put one piece of tape on the top of the feather. Put it on the feather first, right in the middle. Yep. And then the other piece of tape on the bottom, wait a second, put it on the bottom of the feather. This will just make it easier. Yep, just like that. Okay, then we're gonna cover it up. Perfect. Now, if you want to, you can add some ribbon or some kind of string. These were just some things I found in our craft cupboard. What do you think? You like that one? Or do you like ribbon? Or do you want to go crazy with some orange? Oh, I think the orange ones might be too. Oh no, that one would work.
Orange.
Orange?
Yeah.
Okay. Now all we're gonna do with the orange, you help me with this, Eli.
Can we tape it on? Just like
We're just gonna tie it.
And then tape it on.
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
But we're just gonna wrap it around here and do one tie of a knot, which is good practice for tying your shoes. Here, Eli, can you do it?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do a shoe tie, just do one knot. And maybe somebody who's special at home could put their finger in that knot. That helps keep it tight. Just like that. There we go. Now if we're worried that it's gonna fall apart, we can just, or fall off, we can just use a piece of tape. You want it down lower?
Yeah.
Sure, it's your drum. Well, that looks kind of cool. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, we're all done with the tape for just a minute. Oops, except that we lost the little, you like it like that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, look at, I think his looks kind of like a robot or something. What do you think? No?
No.
No robot? Okay.
No.
Okay,
Not really.
so I'm gonna just put a piece of tape on there. Okay, now Eli can take these fancy markers. You remember my special smelly markers. What kind do you have there?
Like blueberry.
Blueberry. Let's see.
But there's,
I think this one's a strawberry.
Mom, this is your favorite black licorice.
Oh yeah, this one is my favorite
Don't
black
like it.
licorice. Oh, I think it smells so good. Okay, so
I don't like it.
Eli is going to do some decorating. You could put stickers on this part. You could do anything that you wanted to decorate it up. It's your instrument, so make it look the way that you want. While he's doing that, excuse me, Eli, I'm gonna make what we call the mallets or the sticks. And the reason, sorry Eli, again, the reason that I called these marshmallow drums is because our mallets' secret weapon are the marshmallows that I put on the ends of the mallets. Now you definitely need mom and dad to help you with this, but I used some barbecue skewers that come in a pack. Probably a lot of you have something like this at your house. If you don't have this, you could use pencils, you could use straws that are kind of strong, lots of things. You just need something that's long and skinny. So I took 3 of these because they're really skinny. And again, I'm going back to that tape. This is a project with a lot of tape. And I'm just gonna wrap that tape around to make them like a stronger stick. Now, if you wanted to get really fancy and you've got some fun, colorful tape, like this duct tape, definitely you'd have to have mom or dad help you with this part. But you could rip a piece of that fancy tape like that and put that around. That looks kind of cool. Or maybe somebody at your house has some pretty sparkly tape like this one. Pretty. And maybe you want to wrap some of that stuff around. I guess I'm kind of messy when I'm working on these crafts. Oh, that looks
I'm
good.
good at drawing.
I know, you could just
Except
draw.
for hands with lightning.
I just drew, then draw hands with lightning.
That's the only good thing I'm
All
drawing.
right. Oops, that one doesn't want to stay. Okay, so I'll just give it a little bit of help. Back to my tape. Okay, now, there we go. This is my mallet. Now, I didn't have any big marshmallows at my house, and so hopefully you have some big marshmallows, but even if you don't, I have small ones. So I just took the little marshmallows and stuck them on to the pointy part. Careful not to prick yourself. And then they made a nice soft top. Just like the mallets we use in our classroom with a nice soft top. You know, the ones that have the rainbows on them? And look at that. I'm ready to drum. Should I make another one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make one more. I like how this one turned out with the blue duct tape on it. I think it looks really good. So have you been going out for walks, friends? Have you been doing some things outside, or have you been staying inside all day? Have you been doing your schoolwork for your teachers? Or maybe you've done like a FaceTime conversation with some people who you can't go and see right now. I really hope that you are taking good care of your moms and dads and other special people in your house. Okay, here's my pretty blue duct tape. I like this stuff. And then I'll do this fancy sparkly red stuff again. I actually like these ones a lot. I think I'm gonna keep these ones for myself. I'll give you mine. Hey Cody, are you almost ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm about to call over my oldest son, Cody. And Cody, come over this way. Cody plays the drums at Placer High School. So he's really good at playing the drums. And now he's gonna play Eli's drum. He's gonna play my drum. He's gonna play our snowman bucket drum. And then I'm gonna show you something else that I did. Cody, you wanna bring over those two for me?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Can I set them up? Oh.
What did you?
Oh, I like
Here you
that.
go. Here, use your mallet.
Wait.
Well, that. You can use either one. You like the fancy ones, huh?
Yeah.
All right, go
They
ahead.
have more marshmallows on them.
They do.
I'm not good at playing.
Oops.
Well, I'm not good at
It sounds good though.
Yeah.
Okay, now, just like I did with the snowman bucket, if you have something else at your house that you just want to put a head on, come over here, Cody.
Okay.
I took just a jar and I put a head on it with some of the duct tape. And then this is actually, it's a candle holder thing that I'm not really using right now at my house. And so I put a head on it too and just taped it on. I can take this off, so I probably won't leave this on for too long because I think the sticky stuff would come on it. But now Cody plays an instrument called the quints. And the quints are 5 different drums that make different sounds or different pitches because of their size. And if you look at the 5 drums that we have right now, we have 5 different drums that are different shapes, so they're all gonna have different sounds. So Cody, why don't you play each one of these drums?
So.
Do you hear all the different sounds? Okay, so now Cody's gonna play a few things on them, and like I said, he's really good at this. Hey, that sounded good. Yay! That was
This
so good.
one's too light.
So we're learning with our bucket right here that we should have probably put something heavier in it too.
Because
Because
it is deep.
yeah. You definitely get a lower sound with this one, which is kind of cool. Now, I would not recommend eating these marshmallows after you've played with them. They're just for drumming. But maybe if you're a mom or dad or whoever else is special in helping you with this project, maybe they'll give you one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And one for Addie too, for her services. Oh, I'll have to give you one in a minute, Addie. Anyway, I hope that you can have some fun, make some drums, and it'll give you something to do. Then when you are done with your schoolwork and you don't have anything else that you want to do, hang on just a second, Eli, and you can do that. When you don't have anything else that you are ready to do, you could just go and play your very own set of drums that you made all by yourself. So I'll look forward to talking to you next week. Eli and I have another instrument that we're going to show you how to make, and hopefully this is something fun for you and your family during this time. See you later.